All right, if you're gearing up for your exams, you are definitely going to want to pay attention. We're about to break down India's official AI governance guidelines, and trust me, this is a huge topic for your syllabus. This isn't just about tech, it's about a national vision. We're going to give you all the key points you absolutely need to know. So, let's dive right in.
So the entire framework, everything we're about to talk about, is built to answer this one massive question. The goal isn't just to put rules on AI. Nope. It's about using it as a massive engine to transform India into a developed nation by 2047. This idea of AI for all, that's the North Star guiding every single policy.
So, how do you even begin to build something so monumental? Well, you start with a really strong philosophical foundation. India has laid down these 7 guiding principles, or sutras, which basically act as the ethical and moral compass for all things AI. You could say these are the very soul of the policy.
And for your exams, here is the first little gem for you. How on earth do you remember all 7 of these principles? Easy. Just remember this mnemonic. Sutras, I. It's a super simple but powerful tool to help you recall the core philosophy when you're under pressure. Let's break down what each letter stands for.
The first S is all about safety, resilience, and sustainability. This sounds straightforward, but it's absolutely critical. It just means that any AI system has to be secure, it has to be tough enough to handle unexpected problems, and importantly, it needs to be environmentally sustainable.
U stands for understandable by design. This is all about one word, transparency. You know how people worry about AI being a black box? Well, this tackles that head-on. The framework says systems have to be designed so we can understand them. Users, regulators, everyone needs to know how an AI made a decision. It's fundamental for building trust.
And that leads us perfectly into T for trust. The document is so clear about this, it is the foundational principle. Without trust, none of this works. Innovation will stall, adoption will grind to a halt. If people don't trust AI, they won't use it. If industry doesn't trust the rules, they won't build new things. Simply put, trust is the bedrock for this whole thing.
R is for responsibility and accountability. This answers that all-important question. If an AI messes up, who's on the hook? The framework demands that there's a clear line of liability right across the whole AI value chain, from the person who coded it to the company that uses it. No passing the buck. A stands for all-inclusive, which is all about fairness and equity. Now this connects directly to India's national goal of inclusive development, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. The principle is crystal clear. AI has to be a tool that lifts everyone up. It needs to be rigorously tested to make sure it's free from bias and that it actually benefits everyone, especially the most marginalized communities.
The second S stands for a people-first approach. This one is completely non-negotiable. AI is a tool to serve us, humanity, not the other way around. That means design has to be human-centric and, crucially, there must always be meaningful human oversight. We, the people, have to have the final say, always.
And finally, we have I for innovation over restraint. This one really reveals India's pro-innovation stance. What it's saying is that the default position is to encourage responsible innovation, not to slap on heavy-handed rules that could kill growth before it even starts. The whole idea is to be agile and adaptive.
Okay, so we've got the why, the sutras. Now let's get into the how. The entire framework is built on 6 foundational pillars that turn those principles into actual, concrete actions. These are the structural supports for India's entire AI ecosystem.
And you know it, we've got another fantastic mnemonic for you right here, I-CAR-P. This is going to help you remember the 6 pillars that form the real backbone of the governance strategy. So let's break this one down, pillar by pillar.
We're going to start with I for infrastructure. And wow, this number really shows the government's commitment. 38,231 GPUs. That is a game changer. By giving startups, researchers, and developers subsidized access to this kind of massive computing power, the IndiaAI mission is basically democratizing AI. It's making sure that even a small team can build world-class stuff.
So beyond just the computers, the infrastructure pillar is also about data, through things like AI Kosh and plugging into India's incredible digital public infrastructure, or DPI. Then comes C for capacity building. See, it's not just about the machines, it's about the people. Initiatives like IndiaAI Future Skills are designed to create a huge talent pool of AI-ready people all over the country.
The next pillar is policy and regulation.
And this is a really key point for your exams. India's approach is not to create one giant new AI law. Instead, the strategy is to be agile and just amend the laws we already have. As you can see here, the IT Act, the DPDP Act, the Copyright Act, they'll all be updated to deal with the specific challenges that AI brings.
Next up, risk mitigation. This isn't just one thing, it's a whole multi-layered strategy. It starts with creating risk frameworks that are actually tailored for India. A really key part of this is a national database for reporting AI incidents, so we can learn from what goes wrong in the real world. And notice that phrase, techno-legal solutions? That means building compliance right into the technology itself.
The pillar of accountability uses this really smart mix of approaches. On one side, you have graded liability, where the legal blame is proportional to your role and the risk involved. But on the other side, you have voluntary mechanisms, things like transparency reports, that use market pressure to nudge everyone to do the right thing. It's a blend of hard law and soft influence.
A plan is only as good as its execution, right? So, Section 3 of the framework lays out a very clear 3-tier action plan. This gives us a roadmap, showing exactly how these principles and pillars are actually going to get rolled out over time.
Let's just walk through this timeline really quick. In the short term, it's all about setting up the main institutions and frameworks. Then, in the medium term, it's time for legislative action, amending those laws and publishing standards. And in the long term, the plan is to review everything, engage in global diplomacy, and only draft brand new laws if it's absolutely necessary. See? It's that agile, iterative approach again.
Okay, so who is actually going to do all this work? Well, Section 4 gives us the details on the institutional architecture. It's what they call a whole-of-government approach, which just means clarifying who does what, so there's no confusion.
At the very top, you've got the AI Governance Group, the AIGG. That's the apex body for policy. They get advice from a group of experts called the TPEC. For the technical heavy lifting, there's the AI Safety Institute, or ASIS, which handles research and safety testing. And this is key. Enforcement isn't all in one place. It's handled by the existing sectoral regulators, like the RBI for finance or CBI for markets, because they know their domains best.
Before we jump into our final summary, I think this quote from the principal scientific advisor, Professor Ajay Kumar Sood, just perfectly captures the whole philosophy. With all this complexity, all this talk of innovation and regulation, the core spirit is actually incredibly simple and profound. Do no harm.
Okay, this is the slide to screenshot for your final revision. Let's do a super quick recap. The vision, Viksit Bharat 2047. The principles mnemonic, Sutras I. The pillars mnemonic, ICARP, for infrastructure, capacity, accountability, risk, policy, and institutions. That key data point, 38,231 GPUs. The overall approach is pro-innovation and agile, amending existing laws like the IT Act. The key jargon you need to know, DPI and techno-legal solutions. And finally, the main institutions. The AIGG is at the top, and the AISI provides the tech expertise.
And we'll just leave you with this final thought. The framework is solid, the vision is incredibly ambitious. But as India moves forward, what do you think is the single biggest hurdle, whether it's technical, social, or economic, to making sure that this promise of AI for all actually reaches every single citizen? It's something to reflect on. That's all for this explainer. Good luck with your exams.